Netflix dump Harry and Meghan. It is over, folks. The Sussex's relationship with the streaming giant is grinding to a halt. Now, it's the understanding of the Mark Dolan show that Netflix's renewed deal with the Sussexes, which was far smaller than the original agreement, is being wound down. Media insiders in the US have told this program that Netflix are, and I quote, completely done with the couple.
Meghan Markle's Netflix empire didn't just collapse, it was detonated. And the bomb that blew it all apart? A secret recording that was never supposed to see the light of day. She thought the cameras were off. She thought no one was listening. But someone was. And what they captured allegedly changed everything. March 2nd, 2026. A Sunday morning in Los Angeles. While most of Hollywood was still sleeping off Saturday night, executives at Netflix's Sunset Boulevard headquarters were already in crisis mode. Emergency meetings, lawyers on speed dial, and one audio file that had just landed in the inbox of Netflix's chief content officer with a subject line that read simply, "You need to hear this." Within 72 hours, every remaining Sussex project would be dead, every deal frozen, every door slammed shut, and Meghan Markle, the woman who once commanded a $100 million streaming empire, would find herself completely, utterly, and permanently cut off. If you want to know exactly how it all went down, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and like this video, because what you're about to hear is going to change everything you thought you knew about the Sussex-Netflix saga.
I believe part of the overarching issue that Meghan has is her reputation in Hollywood. Usually these things are shopped around, and you would normally be able to get someone attached to a project so that it could start getting some momentum and to get other people attached and to get the production rolling. But the problem that Meghan has is that her reputation is so soured in Hollywood that nobody wants to be aligned with her.
Let's rewind for a second, because to understand why this recording hit so hard, you need to understand what was actually happening behind the scenes at Archewell Productions in the months leading up to this disaster. By late 2025, the Sussex-Netflix relationship was already on life support. The much-hyped docuseries Harry and Meghan had delivered decent numbers initially, but the engagement collapsed faster than anyone predicted. Viewers tuned in for the drama, got what they came for, and never came back. The Polo documentary? A complete flop. The lifestyle series Meghan had been developing for 2 years? Stuck in development hell with no release date in sight. Netflix insiders say the streaming giants had grown increasingly frustrated with what they called creative interference from Meghan's side. Every note from executives was reportedly met with resistance. Every suggestion for broader appeal was allegedly dismissed as not authentic to our vision. One former Netflix development executive, speaking anonymously, described working with Archewell as like trying to collaborate with someone who sees collaboration as an attack. But the streaming giant kept the relationship alive. Why? Because despite everything, the Sussex name still had value. International markets were curious, the brand still generated headlines, and Netflix had already invested too much to walk away empty-handed. That calculation changed overnight when the recording surfaced. According to multiple sources with direct knowledge of the situation, the audio was captured during a production meeting in January 2026. Meghan had flown to a Netflix studio facility in Burbank for what was supposed to be a routine check-in on her upcoming wellness documentary project. The meeting included 3 Netflix production staff members, 2 Archewell representatives, and a junior audio technician who was setting up equipment for a promotional interview scheduled later that day. Here's where it gets wild. The technician, whose name has not been publicly released, allegedly left a backup recording device running in the room after completing a sound check. Whether this was intentional or accidental remains disputed. What's not disputed is what that device captured over the next 47 minutes. Sources who have heard portions of the recording describe it as devastating. Not because of any single statement, but because of the cumulative picture it allegedly paints of how Meghan operates behind closed doors. The meeting reportedly started calmly enough. Standard updates on production timelines, budget allocations, marketing strategies. But things allegedly took a sharp turn when one of the Netflix staff members, a mid-level production coordinator, suggested adjustments to the documentary's narrative structure based on focus group feedback. According to sources, Meghan's response was immediate and intense. She allegedly accused the coordinator of not understanding the assignment and questioned whether Netflix had any idea what authentic storytelling actually looks like. When the coordinator attempted to explain that the feedback came directly from test audiences, Meghan reportedly cut her off mid-sentence. What she allegedly said next is what's causing the real damage. I don't care what focus groups think. Focus groups are average people with average opinions. This project isn't for them. It's for people who understand what I'm trying to build. If Netflix can't see that, maybe Netflix isn't the right partner anymore. Now, let that sink in for a moment. This is allegedly a woman who built her entire public brand on connection, on relatability, on being the voice of everyday people fighting against cold institutions. And behind closed doors, according to this recording, she allegedly dismissed those same everyday people as average, with average opinions. The hate is staggering. And Netflix executives apparently felt the same way. But the recording didn't stop there. According to sources, what came next was even more damaging. After the focus group comment, the same production coordinator reportedly tried to de-escalate by suggesting they table the discussion and revisit it later with fresh perspectives. A reasonable, professional response, the kind of thing that happens in production meetings every day. Meghan's alleged response? She turned to her Archewell team and said, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear, "Make a note. I want her off this project by end of week. I don't work with people who don't get it." Think about that. A woman who has spent years publicly advocating for workplace kindness, for mental health awareness, for treating people with dignity, allegedly demanded someone be fired on the spot for offering professional feedback. The coordinator, according to sources, was visibly shaken. She excused herself from the meeting and never returned. Netflix HR reportedly received her formal complaint the following Monday, and that's when everything accelerated toward collapse. The recording didn't leak publicly. That's an important distinction. It wasn't posted online or sent to tabloids. Instead, it was shared internally within Netflix, moving up the chain of command until it reached the desk of Ted Sarandos himself. Sources say Sarandos listened to the full 47 minutes in his office with the door closed. When he emerged, he allegedly said just 4 words to his assistant: "Get legal on this." Within 48 hours, Netflix's legal team had drafted termination paperwork for every active Archewell Productions contract.
This is absolutely hilarious, isn't it? The front of this woman. It's like, everything you have executive produced has been a complete disaster, apart from the one series where you slagged off the royal family infinitum, and you're now demanding to direct? Like, how crazy? How insane is she? Will she never learn?
The wellness documentary was canceled. 2 other projects in early development were scrapped, and a planned second season of behind-the-scenes content was permanently shelved. But here's the part that really sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Netflix didn't just end the partnership quietly. They sent a message. On March 5th, 2026, Netflix released a carefully worded statement that stopped just short of explicitly calling out Meghan. It read, "Netflix values collaborative relationships with all our production partners. When those relationships no longer align with our company culture and values, we make adjustments accordingly. We wish Archewell Productions well in their future endeavors." To the average reader, that sounds almost polite. But to anyone who understands how Hollywood works, that statement was a nuclear bomb. Netflix publicly acknowledged that the relationship ended because of culture and values. They didn't cite creative differences. They didn't mention budget issues or scheduling conflicts. They specifically pointed to values. In Hollywood, that's code for something went very wrong on a personal level. And everyone paying attention understood exactly what it meant. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Within a week of the Netflix announcement, 3 other media companies that had been in preliminary discussions with Archewell Productions quietly withdrew from negotiations. No explanations given, no callbacks scheduled, just silence. One entertainment industry executive, speaking on condition of anonymity, put it bluntly. The Netflix statement changed the calculation for everyone. Before, working with Meghan was a risk, but potentially worth it for the attention. After that statement, working with her became a liability. Nobody wants to be the next company issuing a values statement. And then there's the question everyone's been whispering about. What did Harry know? According to sources close to the couple, Prince Harry was not present at the January meeting where the recording was made. He was allegedly in the UK at the time, attending to matters related to his ongoing legal battles with British tabloids. But when news of the recording reached him, his reaction reportedly wasn't what Meghan expected. Multiple insiders claim that Harry was devastated, not by the recording's existence, but by its contents. One source close to his circle described a phone call between Harry and Meghan shortly after he learned what was on the audio. The source claims Harry asked Meghan directly, "Is this really how you talk to people when I'm not around?" Meghan allegedly responded by deflecting, suggesting that the recording was taken out of context and that Netflix was looking for an excuse to exit anyway. But according to sources, Harry wasn't buying it. He allegedly told a friend that night, "I've defended her against the whole world. Now I'm starting to wonder if the world was seeing something I wasn't." Those words, if accurate, represent a seismic shift in the Sussex dynamic. For years, Harry has been Meghan's most loyal defender. He cut ties with his family. He left his country. He sacrificed relationships that went back his entire life. All because he believed in her, in them, in the story they were building together. But that recording, according to people who know him, cracked something that had been holding firm for years. Not because he heard something new, but because he allegedly heard confirmation of whispers he'd been dismissing for far too long. And here's where the story takes an even darker turn. In the weeks following the Netflix collapse, Meghan reportedly went into full damage control mode. PR teams were reshuffled, legal threats were drafted, and according to multiple sources, she became obsessed with finding out who leaked the recording. The junior audio technician who allegedly made the recording was identified within days. Meghan's legal team reportedly sent a cease and desist letter so aggressive that the technician hired his own attorney and filed a preemptive declaration with the California Labor Board, claiming he was being intimidated and harassed for being a potential whistleblower. That filing, which became public record on March 12, 2026, contained one paragraph that sent shockwaves through media circles. It read, "The recording in question captured statements that the complainant believes represent potential violations of California workplace protection laws. The complainant did not leak this recording for personal gain, but rather to protect colleagues from a hostile work environment." A hostile work environment. Those 3 words appearing in an official legal filing connected to Meghan Markle represent something she's spent years trying to avoid: a paper trail. Because this isn't the first time such allegations have surfaced. Remember the 2018 bullying claims from palace staff? The ones that were supposedly investigated and then quietly buried? The pattern that multiple former employees have hinted at over the years without ever going fully on record? This time, there's audio. This time, there's documentation. And this time, the person making the claim isn't an anonymous palace source who can be dismissed as a disgruntled royalist. It's an American worker filing through official American legal channels. Meghan's team has denied all allegations, calling them categorically false and suggesting the technician is seeking financial gain. But the denial rang hollow to many observers, especially given what allegedly happened next. Within 2 weeks of the Labor Board filing, the technician reportedly received a settlement offer from Archewell Productions. The amount has not been disclosed, but sources familiar with the negotiations describe it as significant and contingent on a comprehensive non-disclosure agreement. The technician's attorney reportedly advised against accepting, arguing that the case had strong merits and could result in a larger judgment if pursued through litigation. But sources say the technician, who is in his late 20s and had never been involved in any high-profile legal matter before, was exhausted by the attention and pressure. He allegedly accepted the settlement on March 20th, 2026. The NDA he signed is reportedly one of the most restrictive in recent entertainment industry memory. He cannot discuss the recording, the meeting, his employment experience, or even the existence of the settlement itself. He cannot write a book, give interviews, or post on social media about any aspect of his interaction with Archewell Productions. The penalty for violation: immediate legal action and full repayment of the settlement plus damages. In other words, Meghan bought his silence, and it cost her dearly, both financially and in terms of public perception. Because here's the thing about NDAs in 2026, the public has grown deeply suspicious of them. After years of high-profile cases where NDAs were used to cover up misconduct, people now see them not as standard business practice, but as red flags. When someone pays substantial money to silence a junior employee, the obvious question becomes, what are they hiding? And that question is now following Meghan everywhere. The entertainment industry press, which had largely given Meghan favorable coverage since her royal exit, has shifted notably in recent weeks. Articles that once framed her as a victim fighting against unfair treatment now carry a more skeptical tone. Opinion pieces are asking harder questions. And perhaps most damaging, the late-night hosts who once celebrated her as a breath of fresh air have gone conspicuously quiet. No jokes at her expense, but no support either. Just silence. And in Hollywood, silence from people who used to be vocal supporters is often the clearest signal of all. Meanwhile, Netflix has moved on with remarkable speed. Just 2 weeks after terminating the Archewell partnership, the streaming giant announced a new documentary series focused on the British royal family, produced in cooperation with a UK-based production company and featuring unprecedented access to working royals. The announcement didn't mention Meghan or Harry by name. It didn't need to. The message was unmistakable. Netflix found better royal content partners, and they're not looking back. For Meghan, this represents more than just a business setback. It represents the collapse of a narrative she spent years constructing. She left the royal family, at least according to her public statements, because she wanted freedom. Freedom to tell her own story. Freedom to build something meaningful. Freedom from the constraints of an institution that she claimed didn't support her. Netflix was supposed to be the vehicle for that freedom. A $100 million platform to share her vision with the world on her own terms. And now, it's gone. Not because of tabloid persecution or royal interference or any of the external forces she's blamed for her struggles in the past. It's gone because of something she allegedly said with her own voice when she thought no one was recording. The irony is devastating. A woman who built her brand on authenticity allegedly got exposed for being inauthentic. A woman who preached kindness allegedly got caught being cruel. A woman who claimed the world was against her allegedly created her own enemies through her own behavior. And the worst part for Meghan? She can't even publicly defend herself. The recording's contents haven't been officially released. She can't address specific statements because doing so would confirm their existence. She can't explain context because there's no official narrative to respond to. She's trapped in a limbo where everyone whispers about what she allegedly said, but she can't engage without making things worse. It's the ultimate PR nightmare. A scandal without a clear beginning, middle, or end. Just a permanent cloud of suspicion that follows her everywhere. So where does this leave the Sussexes as we head into spring 2026? Financially, the Netflix collapse is a significant blow. Reports suggest that Archewell Productions was counting on continued Netflix revenue to fund operations, staff salaries, and the couple's lifestyle. With that income stream gone and no immediate replacement in sight, Questions about the Sussexes' financial future are intensifying. Their Montecito mansion, purchased for nearly $15 million in 2020, carries substantial monthly costs. Professionally, Meghan's reputation in Hollywood has suffered damage that may be irreparable. The recording, even without being publicly released, has become industry legend. Everyone knows about it. Everyone has heard the rumors about what's on it. And everyone is making calculations based on those rumors. Sources close to Harry say he's been spending increasing amounts of time away from the Montecito property. Trips to see friends in other states, extended visits to the UK for legal proceedings that could theoretically be handled by his attorneys. Time alone that, according to insiders, represents something more than just busy schedules. Harry's processing something big, one source close to his circle revealed. He's not the type to make sudden moves. He thinks everything through, but you can see it in his face. Something's changed. Whether that change leads to a dramatic shift in the Sussex relationship remains to be seen. But the foundations that once seemed unshakable are clearly cracking. And through it all, Meghan reportedly remains defiant. Sources say she's told her inner circle that she refuses to be broken by what she calls a coordinated campaign against her. She allegedly believes the recording was deliberately weaponized by enemies within Netflix who wanted her gone from the start. Whether that's accurate or simply denial is impossible to say. But what is certain is that the consequences are real, regardless of intent. The Netflix deal is dead. The Hollywood doors are closing. The financial pressure is mounting, and the whispers about that recording show no signs of fading. This story isn't about one bad meeting or one unfortunate moment caught on audio. It's about a pattern that allegedly finally caught up with someone who thought she was untouchable. For years, reports have surfaced about difficult behavior behind closed doors. Staff departures, strained relationships, projects that fell apart amid creative conflicts. Each time, Meghan's team dismissed the claims as attacks motivated by racism, jealousy, or tabloid malice. But an audio recording can't be dismissed as tabloid fabrication. It either exists or it doesn't. And everyone in Hollywood now operates under the assumption that it exists and that its contents are exactly as damaging as the rumors suggest. That's the reality Meghan now faces. Not accusations from anonymous sources, not speculation from hostile press, but the documented record of her own voice saying things that contradict everything her public image was built upon. And there's no PR strategy sophisticated enough to spin that. So what happens next? Some observers predict Meghan will attempt a comeback through alternative channels, podcasting platforms that aren't Netflix, direct-to-consumer content through social media, perhaps even a return to acting in smaller, independent projects where the stakes are lower and the scrutiny is less intense. Others believe she'll double down on philanthropy and advocacy, attempting to rebuild her reputation through charitable work rather than entertainment ventures. And a few voices in the industry are suggesting something more dramatic, that the Sussex brand as we've known it may be approaching its final chapter. Not with a dramatic explosion, but with a slow fade as the attention moves elsewhere, and the world loses interest in a story that's become more exhausting than entertaining. Only time will tell which path unfolds. But one thing is certain. The Netflix collapse represents a turning point from which there may be no return. The recording that ended everything isn't going away. The questions it raised aren't being forgotten, and the damage to Meghan's carefully constructed image may prove permanent. She wanted to be seen as a truth-teller, fighting against powerful forces that wanted to silence her. Instead, she's now someone who allegedly silenced others and paid for their silence when it all went wrong. The reversal is complete, and the consequences are only beginning. So now the question falls to you. Do you think Meghan can recover from this? Can she rebuild what's been lost? Or is this the beginning of the end for the Sussex empire? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video because this story is far from over. And if you want to see what happens next, You're going to want to be here when it all unfolds.